Alrighty guys, we have some more wrestling news, but I don't think there's anything new about Bret Hart once again complaining and putting himself over. Welcome back guys to Fog Wrestling. Not a lot happening, so again, it's just more minor news lumped in to one big video. We're going to talk about Bret Hart, who's got a lot to say. I mean, when does he never not say anything? He's always talking about how good he was, or how bad of a person Hulk Hogan was, or how Goldberg absolutely sucked. You know, it's one of those three things. Bret either kissing his own ass, either, you know, putting the boots into Hogan, despite him being passed away, or just taking every opportunity to bury Bill Goldberg. That's like the three settings that Bret Hart has. Sometimes he'll malfunction and he might talk about McMahon or today's wrestlers not being any good. But more often or not, it's either kissing his own ass, taking a dig at Hulk Hogan, or pure bashing the hell out of Bill Goldberg. We've also got Mercedes Moné talking about locker room differences between AEW and WWE. We have Samoa Joe, the not so tough Joe, getting injured, and Nikki Bella has came out and said she is done being grinded on. She is done taking these prom-like photos with fans. And I think we're going to start with the Nikki Bella news. So, for those of you that don't know, there was, I guess, a viral prom pose photo that Nikki took with a fan during SummerSlam 2025. And Nikki and Brie Bella discussed it on their podcast. Basically, we've got some Indian-looking guy. He has got Brie Bella in, I guess, like the prom pose almost. But to me, it looks a little bit more intimate than the prom pose. It's similar, but I don't think it's the same. This guy was like almost humping Nikki Bella here. I can't imagine most like fathers are going to let their daughters take a prom pose in this position, in this like angle of this close proximity of fucking groin to buttocks. But whatever. Nikki Bella's been doing this, probably charging more money for this anyway, so they discussed it on the podcast. Brie said, quote, "So you know that photo that went viral with you and the fan from Fanatics?" End of quote. Nikki says, quote, "Where it looks like I'm getting pounded from behind. Is that even appropriate to say?" End of quote. Brie, "The gentleman you took the photo with is Brian Lima. I didn't even get to talk to you about it yet. I remember scrolling while drinking my strawberry matcha latte and I thought, what the... Didn't Nikki let someone hold her tight like that from behind?" End of quote. Nikki then went on to say, quote, "Okay, well, I do feel like from now on there's going to be no prom pose rule. After this photo, I think so, I will say. We had an incredible story. He asked very politely about doing a prom photo. It was done a bunch of times. You guys, I didn't feel anything. It never felt inappropriate. It didn't feel like what the photo looks like." Brie then says, quote, "Yeah, so you just said a pelvic thrust right when they said 3, 2, 1, end of quote." And Nikki ended it with, quote, "I think that was just his posture. And maybe it was also that my pants were kind of baggy, so they stuck out. You know how sometimes photos get distorted. I honestly feel like that's what happened, because if I ever felt it was inappropriate, I would go straight to my rep and say, hey, that was really inappropriate. I didn't have that at all. And he was actually, unless I'm being played, a very sweet guy with a really touching story. He's watched us from day one." End of quote. Right, so, Nikki Bella saying that she did not feel anything. Nikki Bella saying that it wasn't inappropriate and that he seemed like a very nice guy. Right, first of all, I'm just going to call this out. Absolutely bullshit. I don't care if he seems like a sweet guy. I don't care if he had a really touching story. That is just an inappropriate pose, and there is no fucking reason why you would pose like that with some random guy or some random woman. It just makes no sense. It kind of reminds me of when Sunny was doing like those photo shoots and you could like lay in bed with Sunny. She was charging like men to like lay in bed with her, and you would get photos taken with her, but it would be in her bed. And that's kind of a similar thing that Nikki Bella, it's a similar direction she's taking this. It is weird. It is fucking weird. And now she's single. Now she's not dating that Artem guy and whatnot. I guarantee you, if Nikki was still going with him, I guarantee you, if Nikki was going with John Cena, this pose would not be happening. This pose 100% would be out of the question. But this is Nikki Bella. I'm assuming just trying to use her sex appeal and take advantage of guys, not necessarily in a bad way, because I mean these are grown men, so I'm not saying that she's like manipulating them or taking advantage, but I mean she's taking advantage of their horniness and the fact that these guys will likely pay more money. Now she's not going to come out and say it, but I bet you she could charge more. She could probably charge a lot more money to have this pose rather than just like two people side by side. And that's what it is, you know. I'm sure Nikki Bella knows that here, if some guy can like hug me from behind and thrust his penis into my ass, then he's going to be more likely and he's going to be willing to pay more money to do a photo shoot with me. It's just fucking strange. I mean, even Brie Bella's calling it out, saying it looks weird, looks like you're being humped from behind. The fact she can talk about the photo being distorted is bullshit. The fact that she thinks the photo looks like she's been humped from behind, that just tells you the photo was wrong in the first place. And then she says this guy's a nice guy. I also seen him on Facebook, and then there was another guy that took the same pose with Nikki Bella, and they were both commenting on Facebook saying, oh, all you people are calling us out to be creeps, saying that we tried to do this, we tried to do that, we asked Nikki Bella to do this, and she agreed. And here, maybe you did ask her nicely, and maybe she did agree, but that doesn't change the fact you're fucking losers. You're paying for a photo just so you can try and take a picture that looks like you're with this chick that would never look at you in a million years, and you're humping her from behind. Is that your greatest memory? I mean, is that what you want to fucking show your family, show your friends, show your kids? Oh, look at this! I paid money just so it can look like I'm dating this chick, or I'm humping this chick from behind. It's embarrassing, man. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. Never had this. I have took pictures with celebrities and stuff like this. Jericho is one of them. I'm trying to think of other people. Female. I took a photo with Lizzie Hale, and it was literally like on both occasions, I have had like my arm around their fucking shoulder. And that's it, you know, when you get like a group of people in a line and you're all putting your arms around their shoulders and you're like linking up, and it's like a wall, and you kind of link together with each other's arms over the shoulder. Anytime I've got a picture of this, that's the only thing I've done, and that's like the only appropriate thing to do. This is very fucking strange. Nikki Bella says she's not going to keep doing this and that she's done with this, but she's back with WWE now. Honestly, if she leaves WWE, if they canned her, I wouldn't be surprised if she was like specifically charging people for this type of photo. I wouldn't even be surprised if she created an OF. But yeah, anyway, back to the point. It's just a weird picture. I don't see why would Nikki Bella want this to be out there? First of all, why would Nikki Bella want there to be shitloads of pics of like guys looking like they're humping her from behind? And second of all, I mean, why would guys want that? I mean, oh, I got to hump this person, but it's embarrassing. You know, it's fucking embarrassing. The fact you look like a gimp. You know, you look like a cuck here that is paid a lot of money just to get some form of physical contact with Nikki Bella. Like, I'm not saying that most guys wouldn't want to sleep with Nikki Bella. Of course they would. If you're straight and you're red-blooded, then yeah, 100% you would take that opportunity if it came up. But to just pay to get a picture just to look like a cuck, that's not right. I'm not saying that, I'm not like shaming these guys for being attracted to Nikki Bella, but Jesus Christ, paying money just so you can like have a photo where it looks like she's your girl, that's lame. You know, that's fucking cheap. You know, you could have went and got a prostitute or something, for God's sake. You know, you're paying money to get a picture with Nikki Bella hugging her from behind. Lame ass shit. Right, anyway guys, let's talk about Samoa Joe. He's injured. He was filming the second season of the Peacock series Twisted Metal. Not going to go into the full thing here. I don't really care. It's an article written by Dave Meltzer, and I've listened to too much Dave Meltzer over the past 24 hours. So he just basically said that Joe's going to be out for a while. He was written off after the last AEW show because he got injured on filming Twisted Metal. The reason I'm including this is because we just did that list, and it was like the top 20 toughest guys in wrestling, and Samoa Joe is getting injured, filming some stupid series. I get it, accidents can happen, all this stuff, but tough guys generally don't get injured like this. And look, crazy things can fucking happen, But even when, like, accidents happen to tough, like McMahon blowing both quads, look at McMahon not even selling it, apart from the fact that he's dressed in a suit and he's sitting on his ass in the ring. But, you'd think, well, what's McMahon doing? McMahon didn't look in pain. McMahon wasn't, like, selling it or fuck all. I bet you Samoa Joe was probably crying like a little bitch with his injury. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's see what Bret Hart's got to say. So he was doing a Comic-Con appearance at the Fawn Comic Con, and he gave his thoughts on the modern era of professional wrestling. Bret Hart said, quote, "I think wrestling is such a strange profession. There's no real category for it. I think my personal feeling about professional wrestling today is that the wrestlers today are mostly, for the most part, actors pretending to be wrestlers. Nobody put a hold on. No one has what we used to call wrestling psychology anymore. You have to work on a leg. There's always a strategy to what I learned in wrestling. You tell a story and try to make it as real and believable as you can. The real art form was never to injure anybody. You never do it for real. Two wrestlers would go out there, tell their story and come back. I still think that's the case today, that the first thing they do when they come back to the dresser is they hug each other and say, I'm okay, I didn't break my neck or anything. I didn't knock all my teeth out, and it's always like you're just so happy that you go out and do this performance. The real artistry is not hurting anyone. Unfortunately, Bill Goldberg never got that memo." End of quote. So once again, Bret Hart, he just, no need to mention Bill Goldberg. What a fucking loser this guy is. Honestly, I was not expecting that. I know I said he bashes Goldberg at the start, but I did not expect that. Did not think he was going to throw. I thought he was just talking about wrestling in general and how psychology is going out the window. Because I know he was talking about Gunther and he doesn't like Gunther and his chops because they legitimately hurt people. And then he just throws Bill Goldberg in there. I mean, it was an accident, Bret. Get the fuck over it. It was an accident. Just like Owen Hart dropping Austin on his neck was an accident. Albeit Owen said he wasn't going to do the sit-out pile driver that way. He said he wasn't going to drop to his ass. He was going to drop to his knees. So Owen technically lied. Austin didn't really know what spot he was going to get into. And then Owen ended up, breaking Austin's neck. But at the end of the day, it was still an accident. And yeah, there was a bit of tension there, but look at that. I mean, Owen Hart died, and Austin comes out, right, and he leaves the beer, he toasts Owen Hart, and he's had nothing negative or hurtful to say about Owen Hart. Now, he has talked about before when I think he did like a documentary or on his podcast when he was talking about his injury, he has said that he was surprised that he didn't hear from Owen, but he doesn't bash Owen on a daily basis. Hulk Hogan just passed away. Bret Hart's already bashed him a couple of times. Honestly, man, I think that when Goldberg dies, I'm going to make a prediction. If Goldberg dies before Bret, I think Bret Hart will bash Goldberg within 48 hours. I think he'll make an interview, he'll do a podcast, and he'll take another dig at Big Bill hitting him with a super kick. Move the fuck on, okay? It's not ballet. Nobody tried to hurt you. It was unfortunate, but you also continued to wrestle with that concussion. You could have took time off. It's not like you were fucking broke. You continued to wrestle. You're just as much at fault as Bill Goldberg is, right? It's not like that kick single-handedly just ended your career. Bret could have took time off. He didn't. It is what it is. I mean, stop bashing Goldberg, for fuck's sake. Just get new material and get over it. And also, he kind of bashed Io Sky. Some guy in the convention asked him what's his thoughts are on Io Sky. Bret Hart says he doesn't know who that is. Now, I'm going to have to call bullshit. Bret Hart says he doesn't watch wrestling, and that's fair enough. But Io Sky has been on... She's been a member of WWE now for what? At least 6 years, maybe 7 years. Could be 8 years, actually. I don't have the right time frame, but she's been at least there, I would say, for... I'd say at least 6 years, but it's probably a lot longer than that. And in terms of the main roster, I think she's been on the main roster now for 4 years. Bret Hart in that period of time has been at WWE shows. He was at the Raw where he had the confrontation with Gunther. He was at WWE WrestleMania. He's been at the Hall of Fame when he got inducted with him in Austin. Listen, Bret Hart has been at multiple WWE shows or whatnot over the last 4 years when Io Sky's on the main roster. And I'm not saying that she's going to come up and speak fluent English and have, big conversations with Bret Hart. I'm not saying that. But for him to suggest that he doesn't know who she is, been a multiple champion in that period of time. I think that's bullshit. I think maybe Bret doesn't like her style of wrestling. Maybe Bret, I don't know what it is. Maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he didn't want to put her over. Maybe he didn't want to say anything nice about her. Or maybe it was his way of taking a dig. You know, maybe he felt like if I say I don't know who it is, maybe he believes that that's taking a shot at her. But I thought it was a bullshit comment. I've seen Dave Meltzer come out. Is it Dave Meltzer? I believe that Dave Meltzer has come out and said that Io Sky is the best wrestler in WWE right now, male or female. And I can't agree with that. But I do think she's good. Alright? I do think she's good. In an ideal world, though, she would learn some English and have a character. Being the genius of the sky is not a character, you know, it's just a nickname. It's not, that's not like a character, there's no characteristics in that. Yeah, she's a high flyer, but you know, again, that's a style, that is not a character. And I actually don't think she does that much high-flying moves. You know, if she wants to be the new Rey Mysterio, then I think she needs to start doing more high-flying moves and being more impressive. But I do like Io Sky. And she's fucking hot, okay? So she's got a lot of things going for her. But she needs to learn to speak English. That's for real. Right, and then let's move on to Mercedes Moné. She says the difference between the WWE and AEW locker room culture is night and day. So, while on MVP's podcast, she said the following. She says, quote, "For me, it's night and day. Well, first of all, I have my own locker room, so that helps me a lot. I'm not in it, but I like being away from it. I don't want to be part of the drama or anything. But when I am around the girls, it just feels like such a community of wanting to make the place grow. There's a hunger because I feel like we still feel so underground and we want to make it up here. All these women have so much drive and passion and I can feel it. They fire me up. I want to be the best because they want to be the best. And the same with the guys too. The energy with the guys feels so different. I don't want to say WWE is bad and that people there have their egos, but it just feels like we're all trying to fight for something. We're trying to fight to make this the best place. And I love people who have the passion and hunger. So that's how I feel." End of quote. What a load of shite. So Mercedes Moné basically throwing shade at wrestlers in WWE, claiming that they have egos and that people in AEW don't have egos. I mean, look at Will Ospreay. This guy's got the biggest ego on the planet. He thinks he is the greatest thing ever. I mean, MJF, massive fucking ego. Mercedes Moné claims that she's not got an ego, but she has her own locker room. I mean, where do you draw the line at that? Seriously. She's not got a big ego. It's the people in WWE are all the ones with the egos, but she's running around in AEW with her own locker room. And then she talks about how when she's around the girls, it feels like such a, you know, a big community wanting the place to grow. If it was a community, then you wouldn't have your own private locker room. If it was a community, then surely you would all be in it together, you know? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Just another attempt here at Mercedes Moné to take a dig at WWE. And despite me criticising Mercedes Moné a lot, you know what, I'm going to say something that a lot of people disagree with. I actually kind of, as a performer, think Mercedes Moné is actually good. I think Mercedes Moné is good. As a person, I think she's a bit of a piece of shit. I'll be completely honest there. But as a performer, I think she's pretty good. I also think she's fucking hot. And that helps. If you're a female and you're hot, then I'm a lot more likely to, you know, actually care or appreciate you or something along those lines. I also think she's the best member of the Four Horsewomen. Go and fucking sue me. But I do believe that Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné is the best wrestler out of the four. And I think she's had better matches than the others. Now, some people will say Charlotte Flair. I would argue that Charlotte Flair's had more opportunities. I would argue that Charlotte Flair has had more big WrestleMania matches or SummerSlam matches where she gets the time to shine. But I think if you had Sasha Banks with those same opponents that Charlotte Flair had, I think that Sasha Banks could have put on just as good, if not better, matches than Charlotte Flair. That's my opinion on her, but her ego is out of fucking control. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you then. Until next time, though, peace.